Mark, do you promise? Will you take care of her?
Yes, darling. Of course I will. I'll take care of you both. We'll see her grow up together.
Always the optimist.
You know me. I believe in myself, but that's nothing when you compare it to how much I believe in you. And Videl, my love.
Everything was but a din and utter chaos. The ringing in his ears was unbearable. The dust was still settling. It had felt like ages since the initial blast, but these two golden warriors were still there, unmoved, staring each other down. The younger one seemed more tired, but the other one, that just a moment ago seemed like his ally, had completely changed, not only the colour of his hair, but also in their tone. A part of Mark's mind knew that he was now his ally, and yet the other parts of said mind screamed at full volume that he wasn't. Mark wiped off some errant blood from his forehead that had been slowly dripping over that strange M symbol that he never dared to question before. As he looked around, he could only see the rubble from the battle. And when the older golden warrior started to bombard the younger one with orbs of light energy once more, he slowly started to realize what had just happened. His pupils dilated. A stream of thoughts had started to course through him. He yelled his daughter's name yet again from the top of his lungs, but the ringing in his ears was still there, showing no signs of stopping. This, connected with the ongoing battle, had caused Mark to not be able to hear his own scream. When a stray ball of light was heading his way, the younger golden warrior did everything he could to block it, to keep it away from Mark. He was on the defensive. Why? Why would he be on the defensive? If he wanted to mock him? If he wanted to turn his daughter from him and corrupt her? Was it because he wanted to torment him more? To make him feel small? Was it because he wanted to take his throne? A flashback flooded his head, to the time when his beloved Miguel was alive, and he had taken her to his dojo for the first time. I'm not a big fan of this satin castle place, Mark. I'm sure there has to be a better place for you to train yourself in the martial arts.
But baby, for the first time, I think I'm good at something. Sure, I had a lot of luck, but the master seems to see potential in me.
You wouldn't need all that luck if you just believed in yourself. You're trying too much to become a person your master wants you to be, instead of looking at who you really are. I wish you could see yourself the way I do.
Thank you, Miguel. I promise. I promise that after the training is done, I'll earn us enough prize money, and you won't need to sing in those seedy places again. We'll get married and have a huge home.
They're not that seedy, and you are good enough. You don't need this place. But if that's what you really want,
I promise you, you won't regret it.
He was wrong. It hit him harder than Cell throwing him off of the ring and into that plateau years ago. He misjudged the intentions of the Golden Warrior. Now, seeing that young boy, about Videl's age in fact, struggling for his life, and yet taking time to make sure that he wouldn't be hit by this projectile was Videl. He needed to find Videl. He started to dig through the rubble, seeing from the corner of his eye that his security guards were now holding those weird contraptions aimed at the two fighters, whilst Dabura was resting next to his small companion after all the hits he had received. Issue for later though. Find Videl first. Find Videl. Find Videl. He heard a loud sound as the older combatant had punched the younger one into a building. Mark used this opportunity to cover more terrain. The jewel was thankfully moving away from him, so he could then get to check another part of the rubble, undetected. He was digging through it with his bare hands, effectively cutting them a bit with the process. Small pieces of glass and concrete were flying about the place, and when he had lost all hope, he saw a pale arm sticking out from under a huge piece of concrete. He mustered all his strength to raise it, adrenaline pumping his power up to superhuman levels. He had found her.
Daddy, you're back! Can I visit Mommy tomorrow?
Videl,
You look sad, Daddy. I know what will cheer you up. A hug.
Videl, my little angel.
There. Hugs from Mommy always make me feel better.
Videl, I need to tell you something.
What is it, Daddy?
It's about Mommy.
And can we see her tomorrow, Daddy?
Videl, listen to me. You know that I love you more than anything in the world, right?
I love you too, Daddy.
I'll take good care of you. I promise.
Daddy?
You need to be brave for Mommy. Mommy is with Grandma and Grandpa now.
Can we see them?
We'll say goodbye to her.
Well, I don't want to say goodbye to Mommy.
Neither do I, Videl. Neither do I. But remember, Mommy will never be truly gone, all right? She'll always be with us. Just invisible.
Invisible?
Yeah, she will. She'll always be with us, okay? We've got to show how brave we are.
Okay, but if she's with us, then why are we crying?
Because we miss her. And it will take some time until we get to see her again.
Daddy,
Yes, sweetie?
I'll take care of you too.
Her face was motionless, her mouth slightly open, her eyes lifeless. He had seen this face once in his life before, and he prayed to Kami he would never have to see it again. He roared loudly, like a hurt animal, hugging her lifeless body to his chest, and then he started to weep.
I'm sorry. Sorry. This is all my fault. I'm sorry.
Despair was consuming him like a tidal wave. He had failed. He had failed everyone. It was all his fault. Miguel was right. He was so obsessed with his own self-image that it cost him her life, his daughter's life. He was a failure, a complete failure. But the despair washed away that annoying voice in his head at least. He looked at the atrocious little scum that had made him do this. Sadness was overwhelming him, but so was his fury. He knew his plan. He planted it in his head, but he no longer was under his control. Like a wild animal, he ran towards the security men holding that contraption aimed at the two golden warriors, and as it was about to fill up, he punched one of them and smashed that wretched thing into dust. Barbary screamed furiously. Do you have any idea what you have done, you foolish lug?
You murdered my girl, you little scummy!
Mark started to walk toward the wizard with a murderous intent.
Deborah, do something!
And at that moment, the devil-like creature, despite his weakened state, leapt toward him with his sword. He could see that the being had infused that blade with its power, and he stabbed Hercule through the chest. The wound was burning. He collapsed on the floor, suffering.
This will give you a slow and painful death for messing with my plan. We'll have to get another one of those from the ship.
So it was all for nothing. Not only did he not stop anyone, now he was dying. He looked at Videl and tried to apologize once more. Even the Golden Warrior was weakening. If he only could unleash the same fury he used during that fight with Cell, he could have won. That fight with Cell. He had a brief flashback of this mechanical man talking to him. His last real act of bravery before any of this happened. He looked toward Videl and later toward the Golden Warrior, and he used the last of his strength that he had in his lungs to shout,
Golden Warrior! Look what they did to my girl!
The boy turned his head with a shocked expression, and then he saw Videl. This time, he screamed like he did all those years ago. And as the lightning started to consume his body, he caught the fist of the older man, much to his surprise.
Oh, I see you finally start to show some of that power. So you're not a total letdown as I thought you were.
Gohan forcefully grabbed Vegeta by the neck and showed him Videl's corpse.
Look what they did! We replayed Vegeta! I don't care! I let him into my head. I was tired of all this comfiness. I despised the fact that I had started to enjoy it. I started to lose my own Saiyan warrior pride.
Gohan looked at him for a moment, like he could not believe what he was hearing. After he had finished, he only uttered one sentence. You utter failure. Vegeta looked at him confused. But Gohan grabbed his neck and pulled him toward the ground. Then he started to smash him into said ground repeatedly.
Is this your Saiyan pride? All that senseless destruction?
He grabbed him by the hair and showed him the destruction around him. Vegeta freed himself and gave Gohan some sizable hits in retaliation. But the boy was right now in full berserk mode as he broke Vegeta's arm. The older Saiyan yelled in pain.
Was what Cell did with you your Saiyan pride? Or was it when he killed Trunks? Huh?
He continued to beat Vegeta senseless, and it was obvious that the prince's enjoyment of this battle, this encounter, was starting to decrease massively.
I am the prince of all...
Gohan punched him in the gut. You are a prince of a cemetery! Vegeta tried to gasp for air, as Gohan had beaten him out of his Super Saiyan transformation. Next, he placed his foot against his throat.
Finish it!
He muttered. Gohan looked at Vegeta with all the fury and hatred he could muster, but in a split second, cooled off. No, you failed Bulma and Trunks, but that you can still fix. Go home, and never fight me again. I'm not like my father. I'm not fighting for sport. And if I see you causing mayhem again, I won't kill you, but I will make you hate fighting with every fiber of my being. And he kicked Vegeta away like a rag doll, as if it were the end of it. Then he set his gaze on Babidi and Dabura. Babidi tried to seize the moment and get into his mind, but Gohan sensed what he was trying to do and vaporized the wizard with a single blast, like he was just a mere bug on his shirt. A weakened Dabura looked at him, seeing that the M symbol on his own forehead was starting to disappear.
I'm no longer under his control. A truce, my friend, would be wise right now. I have many powerful allies that...
I don't care, uttered Gohan, as he grabbed Dabura's sword by the blade and used it to behead the Demon King with his own weapon. Then he could power down, sensing no further threat, breathing slowly and walking up to Hercule.
I'm so sorry, boy. The things I did.
You were under his control. Breathe slowly.
They murdered a little girl.
We can bring her back. We have ways of doing that, sir. Don't worry. Hercule's eyes lit up.
Can you? Why didn't you wish your father back?
He thought he attracted too much danger to Earth, sir. But as long as she's willing to return, we can do that.
I need you to take care of her. I'm not gonna make it.
I'll get help. Wait here.
No. Listen. I'm sorry.
Hercule stopped moving. He closed his eyes. Sadly, just as he was crouching over him, some soldiers arrived. They started to shoot at Gohan's direction.
The Great Saiyaman has murdered the king!
Gohan just destroyed their weapons and got out of there, launching into the air, leaving them to tend to the king's corpse. They would never know the truth. They would never know that the king had forgiven him. Before he left, he also checked for Vegeta. He was no longer there. He had scurried away. The last thing he did was asking Piccolo to find the Dragon Balls. After that, Gohan wasn't seen for a very long time. Sometime later, Piccolo and Gohan were standing over the 7 magical orbs.
You know, we can always ask Shenron to erase people's memories of...
Gohan shook his head. No, it would be not fair to manipulate people like that. I don't want it to be like this.
But this effectively has ruined your scientific career. You're now the most hated man on Earth, you know that.
I can live with that. Besides, Vegeta was right. I should have been training all this time and preparing for more threats. Without Dad around, this is all on me.
Don't let the prince get in your head, Gohan. Don't listen to him.
Thank you. But let's revive the victims. And they did so. Gohan asking Shenron for one small additional favor, sending Videl to their location. Sure enough, she popped up, alive and well. Gohan? What happened? He slowly started to tell the whole story, with Piccolo helping. As she collapsed when hearing about her dad's death, he held and hugged her. But can't you guys bring him back, as you did with me? Sadly not. He was killed by wounds caused by a demonic being. We don't know of a power that can bring someone back from that. So in the end, he saved us all. She wiped out her tears. But now I need to go back and rectify everything. Tell people that you were the one that stopped Cell. And that wizard. Don't. They need a hero to believe in, Videl. They only remember the good stuff about your dad now. And I can live with being hated. She looked at him in awe, but also in fear. They think I'm dead. If this is your will, then I will come with you. Videl? You want to get stronger to protect people. Despite them hating you, we'll get stronger together. Piccolo looked at Gohan.
You're gonna need some company. Besides, I can help you two a bit as well. You need someone that will send messages to your mother and brother as well. They're not taking this grade.
Gohan nodded. Thank you. Both of you. And despite so many things going wrong that day, something good happened. Something new was born. Vegeta never told Bulma of what exactly occurred that day. She pitied him being controlled by the wizard. Gohan never told them the truth. After the last vestige of Barbody's magic was gone from his mind, Vegeta felt like a fool. And what's more, he felt dissatisfied. And as he was sitting on that comfy sofa, licking his wounds, Vegeta knew in his heart that he would never fight again. And that's where we end things. So what did you folks think? Do you think this was a good way to end an otherwise bizarre series? How do you expect Gohan and Videl to move forward from now? Leave a comment below and let's get this discussion going. And I will see you in the next video. Catch you later.